Most students, when they're first getting started with scholarly research, find scholarly articles to be quite overwhelming. They can often be very long, there might be words or jargon that you're not familiar with, but guess what? This is not a big deal. Everybody feels this way, and I'm going to take a few minutes here to show you two different articles and how scholarly articles are typically broken down and how you can use that to your advantage to save time and decide right away if this article might be useful for your research. So this first article is a social science article, and if we look over here on the right, we see the sections. Now the abstract, you're always going to want to look at the abstract, and 99% of the time it will use that word abstract. And this one's really nice. Instead of just a paragraph or two summarizing the entire article and findings, they actually give us a sentence or two about each section of the paper. And looking back over here to the right, where they're using the present study, this might sometimes be called an introduction or background or literature study on other papers, but this is just kind of orienting you to the subject. Now all this part in the middle here, methods, measures, results, this is all going to be the highly technical part. There's going to be lots of numbers, there might be charts and graphs, and this is the part that we can always come back to a little bit later. We don't need to get stuck in this at the point where we're just, getting started with our research and gathering articles that we might want to use for our papers. And again, the end here, discussion and conclusion. This is what we want to look at, and I'm going to scroll down very quickly here, and you can see again we've got lots of charts and tables. So sometimes the discussion can be a bit long as well, as it is in this one. They're going into limitations, implications. So what I would actually do in this article, I would read that abstract, I would pop all the way down to the bottom and read this one paragraph conclusion, and then I would kind of work my way back into the middle. I would probably read this discussion next, then maybe go back and read the present study and then get into the methods. But at this point, when I'm just gathering my initial research, abstract, conclusion, maybe skim over that discussion, and then I'll save the article to take a closer look at later. I also wanted to show you a hard science article. And these can be even more overwhelming because talk about jargon anytime you get into hard science. But again, we've got it broken down into sections here. Now I know I said 99% will say the word abstract. Hey, guess what? Here's your 1% that doesn't. If it doesn't say abstract, just start looking around actually, because this right here, this is the abstract. It's not labeled as an abstract, but it is an abstract. And I can tell because it's right at the beginning, it's followed by the keywords, and then we start in with our introduction. So again, I would start with reading this. Then I see, okay, I have my modeling and simulation, my results and discussion. That's going to be that really technical part that I don't want to get into just yet. But I see I have conclusions. So let me click on conclusions. Ah, beautiful. I have one paragraph of conclusions. So just between that abstract, one paragraph, the conclusions, one paragraph, I should have a good idea of if I want to save this article to potentially use in my own research.